When you think of who the best teams in the NFC are, who comes to mind? The defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, maybe? How about the Vikings? Maybe the Saints? Well, the trendy pick right now is the Rams. They went 11-5 last season and added big pieces to the defense this spring. Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, and Ndamukong Suh, plus a young quarterback and a coach coming back. Everything should be great. Not so fast. The Rams might be good this year. They might even be great, but history isn't on their side. To explain, I brought in my good buddy Joe from the Grind Hours podcast to help me drop some knowledge on yo asses. Let's go.
Sean McVay hasn't dealt with headache players like Talib, Suh, and Peters. Assistant coach Wade Phillips doesn't have a really good track record from guys like T.O. in Dallas. Remember that disaster?
Brandon Cooks is a fast guy and a decent receiver, but he's a downgrade from Sammy Watkins. He's just a better version of Tavon Austin. He only runs 2 routes. He has a go route and a 15-yard comeback. That's it.
Jared Goff is not a seasoned veteran. He seems to be on an upward trend, but last year could easily be a fluke, brought on by a talented receiving corps. His rookie season was horrible, and his college stats were never amazing. You can't say the same thing about Drew Brees, who has had a Hall of Fame career, or Kirk Cousins, who's put up good numbers consistently for several years. You can't really even say that about Carson Wentz, because his rookie season was much better than Goff's.
And let's not forget that the Rams were only 10th in total offense in 2017. Who was ahead of them? The Saints in 2nd, the Eagles in 7th, the Falcons in 8th, the goddamn Buccaneers in 9th. And guess who was 11th overall? The Vikings, who upgraded at quarterback with Kirk Cousins. They get Dalvin Cook back from injury, and they didn't lose any of their top pass catchers. Without their number 1 target from last year, are the Rams really going to get back to the top 10 again? I don't think so.
The 49ers will give the Rams stiff competition. Jimmy Garoppolo has never lost a game as a starter and has a better adjusted stats for position than Goff. ESPN has him projected at almost 5,000 passing yards next season. He obviously won't keep the undefeated streak all year, but he'll win, and he'll win often. As long as the Seahawks have Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, they'll be in the mix too.
Finally, a stat for all you, but the Rams had the highest scoring offense, people. Atlanta had the highest scoring offense in 2016 and finished 15th the year after. Carolina had it in 2015 and finished 15th the year after. Green Bay had it in 2014 and finished 15th the year after. And okay, Denver led in 2013 and finished 2nd in 2014 with Peyton fucking Manning. And in a passing league, all of those other teams have or had QB receiver combos that are significantly better than Goff and Brandon Cooks. Aaron Rodgers to Jordy Nelson, Cam Newton to Greg Olsen, Matt Ryan to Julio Jones. So we can expect the drop-off for the Rams to be even bigger. But sure, let's just pretend that the additions of Talib and Peters and Ndamukong Suh is going to make this into a super team. Look, the NFL is a league of considerable parity. The 4 division winners in the NFC from last year were not even in the playoffs the year before. Only 1 team from that conference returned to the playoffs, and it's the stronger of the 2 conferences, with really only 4 teams that are not in any type of competition for the playoffs this year. The Rams have a tough road ahead of them, and we can't sit here and pretend like everything is going to go swimmingly. History is not on their side.
For evidence, just look at Carolina, Green Bay, even Denver, for instance. The only reason that they won their Super Bowl was because of the stacked defense that they had, making up for the lack of arm strength that Peyton Manning had at the end of his career. Sure, the Rams are a good team, but they aren't the greatest show on turf, and they never will be. And while I'm here, I'll just plug my show. It's a great time to be on. I put out a podcast every Tuesday and Friday. Over on the Grind Hours. That's iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. SoundCloud, we're getting there. I'm not forgetting about you, SoundCloud fan, but you're coming in the near future. I'm glad to be on this podcast and glad to be a part of to expose the biggest Fugazi NFL team in recent memory.
And as always, you can subscribe to The Hard Truth, or you cannot. It's not really up to me. It's up to you. The power is in your hands. So what do you think? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments, if you agree with me or if you hate me. Can't wait to hear all the blowback we're going to get on this one. Stick around for more Hard Truth, and I used to upload every Friday, but I've decided that I suck at deadlines, and unlike Joe, I'm not sticking to a consistent upload schedule.
Glad to see. Screw it. I was in ad-lib about Ryan Fitzpatrick, but who the hell cares?
What was I supposed to say at the ending? But let's just pretend. Damn it. But let's just pretend.